sin that we need to avoid is making matters worse by not seeking God, in particular by not doing things according to his plan, and to make sure that we are consistent in seeking the Lord, that we keep knocking, that we keep asking, that we keep seeking. Sometimes we can fall into the problem that we seek the Lord, we ask the Lord for advice and direction, and we expect Him to give it to us within the next 24 hours. Oftentimes, we have to think hard about an issue. We have to brainstorm. We have to look and think of various different biblical principles, stories within the scriptures and teachings, and just basic philosophy on how to live life that will inform how we apply the Bible to our life. So, really, to expect the Lord to tell us within 24 hours or maybe even a week on what we need to do is unreasonable. And so, sometimes we begin seeking the Lord and we find ourselves in our quiet time reading our Bible or thinking, and then we start thinking and we start listening to our own voice and our own thoughts, and then we follow that. This is exactly what the Israelites did. The atrocity has happened all the way from the very beginning of the Levite with his concubine, the horrendous way that he treated her. And now, the almost the entire tribe of Benjamin has been killed and destroyed. There's only 600 men left. We have gotten to this point, and now they're actually going to make matters worse by not seeking God. They start seeking God, but then they obey their own thoughts. So let's take a look at it. Chapter 21. The men of Israel had sworn at Mizpah, none of us shall give his daughter in marriage to Benjamin. Now they probably could say that this is a rash oath. So even breaking one of the commandments in the Old Testament law. So he said, so they're all in trouble now. The Benjamites are almost destroyed. There's 600 men left, and they can't reproduce. They can't have children if they don't have wives. And they said, none of the Israelites, we've all made a vow not to give anybody to Benjamin. So then they sat there till evening before God. This is the good thing. This is the example to follow. If they would have done this all the way through, perhaps the ending of the judges would be different. So they're sitting there before the Lord. They're lifting up their voices. They're weeping bitterly. They're so sad about what has happened. And then they said, "Oh Lord, the God of Israel, why has this happened in Israel, that today there should be one tribe lacking in Israel?" They're bemoaning their situation that they're in. Again, very good, but there's no confession of sins. The Benjamites, they don't confront the Benjamites and say, can you please sacrifice unto the Lord yourself? And can you seek his forgiveness and say what you did was wrong? None of that was done at all. They just said, why are we in this? And then even the next day, they're worshiping. They get up the next day, they rise early, they build there an altar, offer a burnt offering and peace offering. It's in verse 5 that things go sideways. The people of Israel said, which of all the tribes of Israel did not come up in the assembly to the Lord? Now they're starting to think to themselves, the Lord did not speak to them. The Lord did not give any direction. He did it 3 times before the battle against the Benjamites. So they know how to wait for the Lord. They know how to hear from the Lord, but they did not do that. Then they start talking with themselves. Isn't there somebody within the people of Israel that did not go and fight because they took an oath? If somebody does not come and help us, they shall surely be put to death. And then they said, what are we going to do about the Benjamites? They do not have wives to marry. We've got to get them brides. We have to find wives for these 600 Benjamites so that they can have children and that the tribe of Benjamin will continue on into the future. So then they said, what one is there of the tribes of Israel that did not come up to the Lord at Mizpah? And they said, oh, it's Jabesh Gilead. That's the city. That's the place that did not send any soldiers. This belonged to one of the half tribes of Manasseh. So they decided they send 12,000 of their bravest men, their strongest soldiers, and they go and they kill everybody in this city. So notice there's the reason the Benjamites don't have any people. The reason they've been reduced to 600 people is because the Israelites have killed themselves. They've killed their own nation through civil war. And now they're going to solve this problem by attacking another city and killing everybody there except those that are virgins. So they kill everybody and they have 400 virgins found. And they said, we will give these 400 young virgins to the 600 um, Benjamites that are left, except there's 200 of them that will not have a wife. Again, this is maddening. This is silliness. This is stupidity. This is foolishness. This is what happens on a very extreme scale when you and I do not continually seek after the Lord and really try to solve the problem God's way, and really not try to solve it in a simple matter by thinking through the issue, thinking through the problem, defining the problem well, and thinking about how the various theological ideas of the Bible really come to bear on our situation and our problem. The Israelites gave up too soon. They started listening to their own mind, and they solve it in an absolutely foolish way. And that's the intent of Judges. Judges is meant to leave us saying, what a mess the Israelites have gotten into. What a mess. This was supposed to be the land flowing with milk and honey. And now there is just war, peace, or there's war and all kinds of immorality, and the Israelites are even fighting against themselves. I hope we'll see how the story ends. It'll be, as you can imagine, it's not going to get any better. And I hope that's been a help to you, and I'll see you in the next video.